In a landmark decision on February 15, 2024, the Supreme Court of India dealt a blow to the controversial electoral bond scheme, declaring it unconstitutional and demanding immediate disclosure of donor details. The court mandated that the State Bank of India or the SBI submit the data to the Election Commission of India (ECI) by March 6, 2024. However, as the clock ticked towards the deadline, the SBI, India's largest bank, opted for a different path. On March 4, just 2 days before the mandated date, the bank filed an application seeking an extension until June 30, citing practical difficulties in compiling and verifying the extensive data. The Association for Democratic Reforms, or ADR, the lead petitioner in the electoral bonds case, took a step by filing a contempt petition against the SBI. ADR accused the bank of willfully disobeying the Supreme Court's order. The petition demanded immediate disclosure and strict adherence to the court's directives. The Bank Employees Federation of India, or the BEFI, joined the chorus for transparency, expressing concern over the SBI's reluctance to comply. BEFI emphasized the need for disclosure and urged the bank to adhere to the Supreme Court's directives without further delay. The SBI's plea for an extension triggered a political storm, with the Congress accusing the SBI of being the BJP's shield bearer, safeguarding those allegedly unconstitutional bonds until after the Lok Sabha elections. Supriya Srinath raises the question we are all silently pondering. Why the sudden need for an extension?
उससे सारा कच्चा चिट्ठा, सारी कलई भारतीय जनता पार्टी की खुल जाती, क्योंकि भारतीय जनता पार्टी को 2/3 इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड मिले, वो ये सारा कच्चा चिट्ठा खुल जाता, सारे मित्रों की सूची आ जाती। तो अब SBI कह रहा है कि हम 30 जून तक आपको नहीं दे पाएंगे, मतलब चुनाव निपट जाए उसके बाद ये सार्वजनिक होगा। मेरा बस एक सवाल है कि जो SBI 48 करोड़ बैंक अकाउंट ऑपरेट करता है, जो 66,000 ATM ऑपरेट करता है, जो 23,000 ब्रांचेस ऑपरेट करता है, उस SBI को 22,217 इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड देने के लिए इतना वक्त चाहिए। मतलब कहीं ना कहीं ये हास्यास्पद से ज्यादा त्रासदी है और विडंबना है इस लोकतंत्र की।
Why did the bank suddenly find itself in need for a few extra months? Why, in a world where information is at our fingertips, did it take the SBI 17 days from February 16 to March 3rd to realize an extension was needed? The timing of the extension cannot be overlooked either. June 30 is not any date, it is after the Lok Sabha elections. Voters deserve to know the details of the bonds and funding before heading to the polls. In their application for extension, the SBI revealed the details are stored separately. Some of the details, such as number of bonds, etc., are stored digitally, while the other set of details, such as name of the purchaser, KYC, etc., are stored physically. Yes, physically. In a world dominated by digital storage, the irony of choosing traditional envelopes over encrypted servers is hard to ignore. The SBI tried to spin it too, saying that it's a deliberate choice to keep the information safe. Because clearly, digital security is overrated, and who wouldn't want their critical data to be stored like ancient scrolls in a sealed chamber? Back on April 12, 2019, following extensive deliberations involving various stakeholders, including the Election Commission of India, the Supreme Court had mandated all political parties that had received donations through electoral bonds to submit details of the donors to the Election Commission of India. This revelation, including the specifics of each bond and the details of the corresponding bank accounts, was to be packaged neatly in sealed covers. These sealed covers were to be in the custody of the Election Commission of India. Fast forward to the present day. Less than 48 hours before the expiration of the deadline, the State Bank of India, the custodian of this critical information, informed the Apex Court that these details are not readily available. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge accused the Modi government of using SBI to conceal its alleged dubious dealings through electoral bonds. He criticized the government's attempt to postpone the disclosure of donor details until after the Lok Sabha elections, alleging that the BJP was the main beneficiary of the scheme. Veteran lawyer and activist Prashant Bhushan suggested that releasing this information would expose several bribe givers and their connections to government contracts and favors. With the general elections coming up and in the absence of transparency in political funding and accountability, the ultimate casualties will be the voters. I am Deepthi Rao. You are watching India Today, SoSouth.